Hey guys, welcome back to the Blade Bloodhound. Sorry I've been AWOL for a few days, but had a lot of stuff going on, and sometimes family's first and then your hobbies. So anyway, back to the knife channel. Let's get back to it. So I found this knife, the one we're going to talk about today. I found, I guess, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago at a flea market in a neighboring town. I have always seen these knives online. I've seen them in books, in magazines. A lot of them were made by Novelty Knife Company. This one, I could not make out the tang, so I did not even see a name on it. But it is what I call a Risqué knife, and a lot of you may know what that means. If not, we'll talk about it. But this one is in a half whittler pattern. It's got the swell, which I'll show you later at the table. We'll get a little closer on it. It's got kind of a swell spring here. And when I say risque, it's nothing bad. So, if your kids are watching, it's all right. They've seen worse on The Simpsons. But on this particular knife, it has a lady, I think, in bloomers, and then it has one on the swing showing some legs. So it's pretty cool. I've never found one. I've always thought this was a cool pattern. I always thought it was a cool knife. I just have never, found one out in the wild other than, on eBay or something, and people want a ton of money for them. This one, like I told you, we found it at a flea market, and it was a pretty cool find. I thought it was neat. So let's get over to the table. We'll see what you guys think about it, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, I am back with you. Hopefully you'll be able to make out all the stuff on the handle. We'll try to look at it and see. But as you can tell, it is like a swell whittler style, which is a half whittler, I call it, because it has two blades. But let's see if we can figure out what all's on this picture here. So this side has a lady in a negligee looking thing and some shoes. So like I told you, it's not too crazy risque. And then on this side, I thought, let's see if we can tell. I kind of want to say she's on a swing, but now I'm beginning to think she's not on a swing. Or is she on a swing? I don't know. It's a lady sitting somewhere and showing her legs. But back in the day, they called these risque knives. And I guess this was risque, years ago. Now, good Lord, this would be the most mild thing you would see. They would probably die if they knew the stuff that people were doing on TV and stuff now. But it was a very cool knife. I just love that it had the pictures on it. I've always seen these and just never purchased one because I didn't want to pay the money that they cost. But like I was telling you, this one we found at a flea market, or turn it this way, and it was $10. I said, how much you want for that knife that didn't have a name on it? And of course he opened it, looked at it, and he said, I don't know, $10. I said, all right, sounds like a plan to me. And I jumped on it. Let me turn it this way so we can see. So there's the pictures. If you know anything about this knife, or if you have an idea who made it, I know that the Novelty Knife Company made some that were black like this, and then they had the picture, but there were other companies as well that made them. But I'm gonna zoom back out for just a second, and we're gonna open these blades. If I can get my finger in there, here we go. Alrighty, so let's look at this blade first. It's got good snap, by the way. So on the blade here, the main blade, I could not make out anything there. And I doubt, sometimes when I'm in the camera, I can see something, but I really cannot see any markings. I don't know if it's just because it's so old, but it's a cool blade. It has a slight swedge here, and let's flip it this way. and a slight swedge this way, as you can see. See how it goes, and then all of a sudden it kind of like tapers here. Carbon steel blade. We'll look and see if there's anything on that one. I got a little grease on it where I oiled it, but good carbon steel. It's very sharp, actually, believe it or not. I sharpened it a little bit, just lightly. And, well, that one didn't have no snap then. I wonder if it's because this other blade's open. We're gonna find out. And then this side is a pin blade, which you can see that oil there. But I could not find any markings whatsoever to help me identify it. This blade's a little dull right there. I need to sharpen that a little bit, but I didn't. Actually, it's got a little nick right here, which I can take that out. But this blade also, as you can see, has a nice swedge going down. And on this side, there's no swedge. Swedge is one-sided. Now this one, the little pin blade here, let me zoom a little bit more. As you can hear, has good snap. Let's see if this side does. Sometimes when you have them open, nope, well, no, not really. Not a great snap. It's got a little bit, well, push it without any added pressure. Right there at the end it has a little bit, but not enough to really do it to it. But what I'll do is I will probably clean this one up. I did put a little grease to it. When I say grease, I just added a little 3-in-1 oil. I know a lot of people use rim oil and all the different ones. It does have some snap that way. A lot of people use rim oil and all the different knife oils. People have been using 3-in-1 oil for as long as you can remember, or as long as I can remember. So that's what I use a lot of times on knives. I figure if it was good enough for a case knife in the 40s and 60s and 70s, then it's still good enough for them. But a great snap. Really cool knife. I was really glad to get this one. I was with a buddy and we were looking at different knives, and he was looking at this one and it didn't have a name on it. And I said, "Are you interested in that?" And he said, "Not really." And I said, "Well, I am." So he handed it to me, and sure enough, we made off with it. But 2 blades. I love how that backspring, I don't know if you can tell, see how it kind of swells up here and down. I love that style. Now I call this a whittler, a half whittler. Other people, they may try to call it something else, but I believe that is the correct name. But a cool knife overall. It's one I didn't have in my collection. It was one that I was excited to find. And I was glad it wasn't too bad so I could show it. I mean, I guess later on they made some that were a little worse, but you know, this one, you know, just shows legs. I don't know if she's wearing a bathing suit. I can't tell what that is, to be honest. It's a pretty old knife. I was really surprised that the solenoid or the handles weren't in worse shape. And then this side, you don't even see the face. All you see is like a negligee. But a cool knife. I thought it was cool. Hopefully you did. If you did, like, subscribe, check out my other videos. I've got a lot of them out there. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Well, guys, y'all have a great rest of the night, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good one. If you want to email me, it is bladebloodhound@gmail.com. If you have any information on this knife, leave a comment. You know, you may say, "I've got that exact same knife and mine is stamped," you know, Imperial, or which I don't think it's Imperial, but you know, it might be stamped Novelty Knife Company or something. Let me know what yours is if you have one like it. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great one, and we'll talk to you next time.